Hey everyone, I'm Zach, personal trainer with ZH Fitness. To develop a wide and impressive back, we will need to go over rep range, volume intensity, which workouts provide the most stimulation and growth, and of course, the nutritional requirements to make it all possible. Later, we'll even go over case studies that conclude which one single workout is the absolute best for stimulating growth in the lats, so make sure to hang around for that. When it comes to building a wide back, we have to take a quick look into the anatomy to understand what to focus on. We all know that the lats play a huge role in width, but two other muscles that are commonly overlooked are the Teres Major and the Teres Minor, both of which add to the width of your back. Since the lats play the largest role, let's first talk about those. The lat originates at the spine, and because it attaches to the humerus, we need to get the arm out in front of the body for a full stretch. A great option for this would be a standard chin-up. Notice your hands are in a supinated position with your palms facing towards you. Focus on really squeezing at the top of the movement and lowering slowly in a controlled manner. If you can't do a standard chin-up or just want another option, the lat pull-down is another great option that works well with the same supinated grip. One of my favorites is the barbell row, like you see here, or just a standard dumbbell row on a bench works great too. These all give the lat a great stretch and offer great stimulation. A great rep range for hypertrophy is around 8 to 12 reps with around 3 sets at 60 to 80% of your 1 rep max. This will make sure you're challenging yourself and putting optimal load on the muscle. I usually start with this rep range and volume on my first exercise and move on to some lighter variations in the 10 to 15 rep range on my next 2 workouts. To put this into perspective, I may start with 3 sets of a heavy barbell row in the 8 to 12 rep range at 60 to 80% of my 1 rep max. Afterwards, I may move on to 3 sets of lat pull downs, followed by 3 sets of dumbbell rows in the lighter 10 to 15 rep range. Now let's talk about the often overlooked Teres Major, which is equally important when developing width. The Teres Major originates at the bottom portion of the scapula and attaches at the arm, making it responsible for pulling the arm to the body, similar to the lats. Since it plays a similar role, we will want to limit the lats' involvement in the lift and put extra tension and stretch on the Teres Major. The key difference here is that the Teres Major has greater activation with the elbows out away from the body, so we will need to do exercises with this in mind. An effective method is to utilize the pull-up or lat pull-down with your hands in a much wider grip, with your hands now in a pronated position, opposite of what we did for the lats. Notice on these lat pull-downs, you'll see the Teres Major gets a great stretch and is fully activated throughout the movement. Avoid using momentum and control the weight on the way back up instead of just letting it fall. Same goes for these pull-ups. Notice my hands are now in a pronated position and my grip is much wider. Again, focusing on slow and controlled reps. This is critical and should be your main focus here. Another great option would be a bent over barbell row, following these same parameters. A little bonus lift that I find really important is the straight bar pull down. When done in a controlled manner, this can be an extremely effective back workout. Personally, this is one of my favorites. Keep your arms straight and your core engaged to maintain proper posture and avoid overloading the weight and compromising your form. Let's not forget about the Teres Minor, which plays its unique role in back development as well. This is one of the muscles in the rotator cuff originating from the scapula, just like the Teres Major, but attaches to the head of the humerus instead. With the primary function of externally rotating the shoulder, this muscle is almost always ignored and as a result is most likely very weak. Not only does this muscle contribute to an impressive back, but also provides stability to the shoulder, and if ignored, can quickly turn into a multitude of problems. To avoid injury and creating a weak link in your muscle development, it is critical that you include rotator work into your training regimen, at least 3 times a week. This can be done with several variations of external rotations, either in the standing or lying position. The main focus should be perfect form and control rather than trying to move weight. If form is compromised, this can create lots of issues and muscle imbalances down the road that can be extremely difficult to correct. So back off the weight and maintain mind-muscle connection. To do any of these variations properly, you'll want to use a suitable weight and bend your arm at a 90-degree angle like so. Next, make sure to keep your elbow tight to your body and avoid letting it flare out. Starting with your hand across your body, pull the band about 30 degrees past your body and slowly control the weight back to the starting position. Keep mindful of your posture during this lift. Keep your shoulders down and back to avoid future issues. This same exercise can be done with dumbbells against a wall, lying down, or even face down on a bench like you see here. Once you develop mind-muscle connection and start to strengthen the Teres Minor, you can move on to lifts with greater overload potential. I caution skipping this step as it will likely result in future problems. But let's assume your rotator is well developed and healthy and you're ready to add some volume. This brings us to the face pull, which is a great option as it incorporates that very important external rotation that the Teres Minor is responsible for. You'll need a cable machine or a set of bands. Here I'll be using a cable machine with a rope. Grab the rope with your palms facing downward and bring the rope straight to your face like so. Make sure to rotate your hands where your thumbs are facing behind you at the top of the lift and squeeze the shoulders together. Notice my hands are slightly behind my elbows at peak contraction. Be sure to pause and hold for a second or two before slowly lowering the weight back down. Again, the main focus should be proper form and technique rather than loading up on weight. These W position external rotations are another great option. Keep your palms towards the floor and rotate them backwards towards the top of the lift, similar to that of the face pulls. Be sure to squeeze the shoulders together at the top of the lift and include a 1 to 2 second pause. This will help avoid using too much weight. If you can't carry out the lifts, stop and back off the weight as your shoulder stability depends on it. 3 sets of 15 would be a great starting point for both of these exercises. Now for the case studies that we mentioned earlier. For simplicity, let's say you wanted to do one single exercise that would optimize your back gains. To figure this out, we have to look at a case study from 2018 done by Holly Edelberg and her research team of 5 others, each backed with a PhD. For this study, the team recruited 19 healthy males, all ranging between the ages of 18 and 25. All the participants had previous training experience and were familiar with the exercises done in the study. The 19 individuals were asked to carry out 8 different back exercises at 70% of their 1 rep max. In order to track muscle activation, electrodes were placed on each muscle and electromyography measurements were taken throughout each exercise. It was concluded that activation was significantly higher in the lats during the pull-up and chin-up. The bent over row and lat pull downs also performed relatively well. But what if you want to do the best exercise for overall back development, not just limited to the lats? Well, at the conclusion of the study, they determined that the bent over row is actually the best overall workout in terms of stimulation. Of the 5 back muscles tested, the bent over row provided the highest stimulation in 3 of those 5 muscles, making it the grand winner for back development according to this study. So if you're just worried about lat development, then pull-ups and chin-ups will work great. But if you're someone who wants overall back development, then bent over rows are the way to go. If you guys have your own favorite back workout, then let us know in the comment section below. But now that we understand how to train for optimal results, let's talk about the nutritional habits required to make building muscle possible. Even if you're doing everything right in the gym, your muscles cannot and will not grow if you don't have your diet in check. Simply put, if you aren't in a caloric surplus, it is physically impossible to build muscle. And to avoid making this video 20 minutes long, we've already actually done a video on how to put yourself in a caloric surplus, so go check that out and make sure you aren't completely wasting your efforts in the gym. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you on the next one.